Based in Waterbury, Connecticut, the Waterbury Public School System oversees 33 schools with a total of over 18,000 students and 1,500 teachers. While the Waterbury Board of Education has pledged to make the district a, quote, leader in the state for urban education reform, performance improvement, and efficiency, end quote, parents, teachers, and students don't feel that they have lived up to this promise. Dr. Verna D. Ruffin is the current superintendent of Waterbury Public School System, joining in 2018. Over the past few years during her time as superintendent, her leadership has gotten mixed reactions. With her current contract running up and the Board of Education working to renew her contract, the Waterbury community is debating on whether she should continue as superintendent. Waterbury Mayor Paul K. Pernaruski has even spoken out against the renewal of the 3-year contract and has instead proposed a 1-year contract. Many in the Waterbury community have questioned her ability to successfully run the district and have dug into her past to show why she shouldn't be head of the school district. This included her being sued by a former principal during her time in Jackson, Tennessee over discrimination and retaliation. While in Jackson, she proposed a plan titled Vision 2020, which set to shut down 5 schools and change district lines. This wasn't well received by the community. Some Waterbury residents also don't feel that her background and prior experience aligns with what this school district needs.
If Waterbury wants to progress and wants to have a better school system, then they need to hire people that have grown up in the same economical state as every other student, so that they could have an idea of like what the students actually experience and what they go through as people.
The Waterbury Teachers Association president, Kevin Egan, reported during a Board of Education workshop on Thursday, March 21, 2024, that an informal survey was given to Waterbury teachers. This survey was centered around teachers' trust in the Board of Education and their feelings about working conditions. One question in particular asked if the superintendent had created a work environment they would like to continue working in, and the answers were, quote, 87%, 611 votes, no, 12%, yes. End quote. Currently, the Waterbury Public School System is ranked in the bottom 50% in Connecticut, and community members are wondering what we can do better.
But I had a daughter who had a 504 plan, and she was fighting, voicing her concerns to follow her 504. She was advocating for herself, which I taught her to do. And then I saw how hard it was for her and what a mental toll it took on her. And I knew that what the system that we had wasn't right. And then I had a son who's nonverbal autistic, and he'll never be able to voice, can I use my 504? Can I use my IEP? So we have to take the initiative as an adult to really zone in on the issues that the kids need. You know, I don't think that our kids are necessarily bad. I think a lot of it has to do with we don't have behavioral plans in place for them. And I feel like some of them are just crying out because they don't know how to fit in. They need help fitting in. And that's where we need to have the training and the education resources available for the teachers and the staff.
Some of the many issues brought up about the superintendent and their board is their lack of support for Waterbury's teachers and students. This was emphasized in a survey we conducted to the citizens of Waterbury. A current Waterbury teacher stated, quote, teachers have zero support or say in anything. We are never asked our opinions or given any consideration. We get a pathetic amount for a budget, which in return means we dive into our own pockets to support our students. We have an alarming number of homeless students and other students in need, and our district does nothing to help them, end quote. When asked to provide their name, they stated, Jane Doe. I'm sorry, I'm terrified to put my actual name. Many parents are frustrated with the current curriculum at Waterbury Public Schools. According to Public School Reviews, between the years 2017 and 2022, the graduation rates increased from 73% to 84%. But the worry is that students aren't receiving the education they need. Based on testing during the 2021-2022 school year, only 12.9% of students were passing AP and IB exams to be considered college ready by U.S. News. Only 23% of students are reading at grade level, and only 11% of students are scoring proficient in math. Parents are concerned that they don't feel that their students aren't learning enough and want the district to take their criticism and improve the curriculum for their students. The Waterbury Public School System is facing the highest number of arrests in Connecticut. According to an article from the Connecticut Public, 235 arrests were reported in the 2021-2022 school year. But Waterbury police data showed 283 school-based arrests. Superintendent Ruffin said the number was lower than the police department records because it didn't include some arrests that happened off campus or at school-related events. In an investigation in the 2018-2019 school year by the State Office of the Child Advocate, they found that police were called roughly 200 times for students in pre-K through 8th grade. Often these were mental health disturbances, with students being as young as 4 years old. This issue was intensified when news broke in August of 2023 that when the Department of Justice sent an inquiry to Dr. Ruffin in June 2022 concerning allegations of discipline, school-based arrests, and seclusion practices, she did not inform anyone on the Board of Education. Police Chief Fernando Spagnolo or former Mayor Neil O'Leary. Arrests in schools lead to a larger issue that many districts are trying to fight against, the school-to-prison pipeline. We sat down with Dr. Rachel Pesta, an assistant professor of criminology at Eastern Connecticut State University, about the ramifications of the trend.
The way I like to describe it is it's really like a social phenomena that has practical implications. So it's this idea that instead of providing education to students or trying to keep them in the school, we really criminalize kind of adolescent behavior, and we default to suspension and expulsion, which then we say like puts kids on a track to prison, because we know how much education, right, prevents crime and prevents criminal behavior. And so when kids are pushed out, right, of education and the education system, it just makes it more likely they'll end up like in the arms of juvenile centers and then the criminal justice system itself. So that's how we kind of conceptualize it in criminology. A brief history of it is when we started to have school shootings, right? Which we know like is a rare phenomena, but it's such a scary phenomenon. I think that schools got scared, right? We need to have some kind of response to this. And so they passed a law that focused on zero tolerance. And so it was intended, and this is what we find a lot in criminology, but it was intended to really criminalize like severe acts, right? Like really dangerous things, like bringing a weapon to school, kind of direct violence, right? And there was not going to be any toleration of that in schools, right? But what happened is, like an unintended consequence of that was schools just defaulted to zero tolerance for a lot of other behaviors that we wouldn't have normally criminalized, right? So like you might hear like, and I always think about this too, like when your parents were growing up and things, they're like, oh yeah, we had these fights outside of school and you know, there was no such thing as bullying and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying there isn't such thing as bullying, but you know, it's behaviors that were considered like typical or normal in adolescence started to become criminalized. And now what we see, right, is that those behaviors are being criminalized at an earlier and earlier age.
Adding on to the list of problems currently being worked on by the Board of Education, busing doesn't skate by. The Durham Bus Company is responsible for all daily transportation to and from schools. However, there has been a recent decline in prompt services. The company is having issues both with staff arriving on time and the number of staff on board. This results in students arriving late to school and being late upon their return home. We got the chance to speak with Superintendent Ruffin about her goals coming into Waterbury in 2018 and her proudest achievements thus far.
I think that everything that's been done that I could say that I'm proud of has been done collectively. Some of the many things that I'm very proud of came out of ideas with building Portrait of a Graduate. Portrait of a Graduate was a true example of a collaboration between students, between teachers, between parents, between the community partners, our school administrators, our central office staff, and we were able to create what we believe is what do we want of our students to be able to do? What do we want in terms of character and characteristics so that they can be able to own their future? They can aspire and be whatever they choose to be. So the Portrait of a Graduate was, when I first walked in, that was some of the first things that I did with others in creating the portrait of a graduate, and it took many months, probably over a year, to be able to actually get down to what are those skills and can we all subscribe to that.
For those that are unaware, Portrait of a Graduate was created as a framework where students can learn the characteristics and mindsets that they should foster to become a successful graduate.
I'm very proud of the early college high school that we've been able to build with Post University. And this year I have my first senior class that will graduate with not only a high school diploma, but also an associate's degree. I'm very proud of that. And we started with a program of less than 20 students, and now we have over 120, and we're looking to continue to expand.
Because of the intense scrutiny Dr. Ruffin has faced in her years within the Waterbury Board of Education, we asked her how she believes the Waterbury community views her.
I think it's mixed. I think that people believe in the vision, and parents and others probably see that there's some great things that have happened on behalf of children. I think that we certainly have not arrived, and in order to arrive, sometimes you have some big asks and expectations for people, and sometimes when that happens, not everybody's happy with that. But it still remains that in order to be able to get this work done, we need everybody together and going in the right direction so that children can be prosperous. So I believe that it depends on who you ask, and it depends on who do you ask and what issue you're asking about. I plan on continuing to be visible and meeting with people. I've never denied meeting with anyone, and I'm not going to. But I need to make certain that it continues, and if there is a different meeting venue, then I'm open to that. I'm open to talking with all of the unions. I always have been, and I will continue to do that. Not only inviting them here, but I have zero problems going to wherever the people are to be able to have better communication, because I think that is critical. And I think we have some improvements to do in that area.
As we can see, the Waterbury Public School system remains divided, with teachers feeling underappreciated, parents being dissatisfied, and students possibly left unprepared after graduation. It is only a matter of time before we can see the implications that will be left over the course of upcoming years. From ETV News, my name is Mia Parker with Stacey Addo and Rebecca Broadrick behind the camera, sending it back to the studio.
My name is Stacey Addo, and I'm here at Eastern's Fine Arts Instructional Center to attend Yes and Sisterhood, run by the campus's Women's Center. This is their last meeting of the semester, and I've come to see what I was missing out on. Yes and Sisterhood is an improv opportunity for women on Eastern's campus to promote personal growth while having fun. With an emphasis on unlocking self-confidence, empowering women, and setting boundaries, Yes and Sisterhood has become a beacon for some students, such as Women's Center Student Ambassador Sammy Vertucci, who has been running the meetings for these past 4 semesters.
I really hope that there's someone else who's able to take the lead on the programs after I graduate. But I think this is the 4th semester of Yes and Sisterhood, which is really exciting, and we watch the program evolve in so many different ways. So I just really, really hope, and I have faith in the program and how beneficial it's proven for this long, that it'll keep going, but I hope that it's able to go even further.
I'm Kristen Morgan. I'm the current chair of Communication, Film, and Theater, and I'm also an associate professor here at Eastern.
Aside from her role in Eastern CFT department, Kristen is an active member on campus. She takes part in activities and clubs on campus, one of them being Yes and Sisterhood meetings.
I really enjoy being hands-on. I will sort of take a back seat to whoever the leader is and what they're doing. So Sammy this semester, I like to let her kind of take the wheel on everything, and I'm just kind of there for support. But I don't want to just sit there in the room either. Like, I want to join in on everything to show people that it's okay to like jump in even if you feel uncomfortable, or even if you like have no idea what you're doing, that it's okay to just like be sort of silly and jump in there and have a good time. And having everybody in the room like involved in the same thing, I think is really important.
While at the meeting, I got to watch an epic battle of wits as students played games titled Knee Tag, Burnt Out, Avoid the Ball, Wolf and Sheep, and Party Quirks. Some set to teach building boundaries, others for team building, all through improv. Party Quirks is a group favorite, especially to student Kyrie Cobb.
My favorite memory was when we did improv characters. So we would all get like a quirky character and we would have to act it out at like a house party.
Party Quirks is a reoccurring improv game where the students are given interesting titles or jobs for a house party, while their party host waits in the hall. The host must then figure out what each of their quirks is. My favorite character from an earlier meeting was a woman who was so clumsy she could barely stay upright.
I think it's just been a lot of fun, like throughout the semesters that it's been going to, some of the same people have been coming the whole time, which is really nice. And then like having new people come in, having people come in and just say like, I didn't really know what this was, but I just like wanted to try it. Like, I think that's great. Like when you're on a college campus, I know things can be overwhelming sometimes and you might want to just like stay in your room and like do your own thing. And it really it takes a lot of bravery to like walk into a room of people that you don't really know and you don't really know what they're going to ask you to do and to do it. So I've always, whenever somebody comes in like that, it's always like pretty inspiring to me to see how people are willing to just like try something completely different.
Well, after being in a room full of laughter and self-growth, all I can say is no is a full sentence. With ETV News, my name is Stacey Addo with Rebecca Broadrick behind the camera, sending it back to the studio.
I chose Eastern because of the faculty. They're all absolutely fantastic and are really, really devoted to like your personal growth as a musician. Also because of the beautiful spaces we have to develop our musicianship, and also for the amount of opportunities that we have on campus to perform and to keep growing. That's why I chose Eastern. Yo escogí Eastern por los profesores. Todos ellos tienen una devoción hacia hacerte crecer como músico, a ayudarte. Otra de las razones es por los espacios fantásticos que tenemos acá en Eastern. Salas de ensayo, salas de coro, nuestro concert hall, donde es donde tenemos la gran mayoría de presentaciones que hacemos a lo largo del año escolar. Por eso.
Eastern let me in on the StepCap program through the Opportunity Program here, gave me the opportunity to give education a second try, and I've been forever grateful for that summer program.
Dr. Riggs is phenomenal, and she's just like if you see her work and work with a student and like that student's mind just clicks and they get to that next step where Riggs set her up to be or set him up to be, and I just think that's so cool to watch and witness.
Camera 4 rolling.
My name is Stacey Addo, and I'm here at Eastern Connecticut State University in the Student Center. Eastern's Campus Activity Board is hosting their monthly movie in the theater. What's the movie for February? The Marvels. In the 2023 to 2024 year, CAB has been showcasing different movies every month. In the past, we've seen Spy Kids, The Nightmare Before Christmas, and the Barbie movie. This Sunday, February 25th, they showcased The Marvels, the Marvel film which released this past November. We spoke with Logan Prempe on why they chose the Marvels.
I believe we put up a poll on our CAB Instagram and we let the students choose, and that's what they picked.
The Marvels apparently wasn't one of Marvel's biggest hits, with box office numbers not breaking even. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's reported that it has a 62% critic score and an 82% audience score. Let's see if Eastern students enjoyed it.
This was one of the many superhero movies that I have seen. I haven't watched one in a very long time, but this one was very interesting, and it was a great experience on campus and a fun movie.
For those like me who haven't been following the Marvel's journey, let's learn a little bit more about the film. Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, has reclaimed her identity from the tyrannical Kree and taken revenge on the Supreme Intelligence. But unintended consequences see Carol shouldering the burden of a destabilized universe. When her duties send her to an anomalous wormhole linked to a Kree revolutionary, her powers become entangled with that of Jersey City superfan Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel, and Carol's estranged niece, now Saber astronaut, Captain Monica Rambeau. Together, this unlikely trio must team up and learn to work in concert to save the universe as the Marvels. Well, I've had my fill of action today. If you want to watch The Marvels, it can be found on Disney Plus or can be rented and bought on Apple TV Plus and Amazon Prime. From Eastern Student Center, I'm Stacey Addo with Rebecca Broadrick behind the camera, sending it back to the studio.
In a world of unexpected teachers and unlikely poets. In this place where life flourishes in deserts of ice, and nature wields her power with brutal indifference, I began questioning everything I knew to be true. I've spent 5 years here now, in the company of the locals. Join my fall into an accidental quest for enlightenment. This place of natural mystery is humbling.
It's somewhere out there. My country. My home. My wife is preparing food. My daughters carry water from the river. Will I ever see them again? I think no.
But you do believe you'll see them again when you die?
I think so. But I will die soon. They will not die for many years. I'll have to wait.
But you would. Wait.
Of course.
You saved my life. I protected you since, but there is no debt between us. Only friendship. I wanted to die in the slave wagon. You see, my wife and my son are already waiting for me.
You'll meet them again. But not yet. Not yet. Yes?
Not yet.